Ian Garry just called out Colby Covington again because apparently the fight that the UFC wants to make is Ian Garry versus Colby Covington. What's going on with Colby Covington? Does he have another fight? We don't know, but Ian Garry just uploaded a new video talking about how the UFC wants them to fight. He has signed. Colby Covington is not. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. Before we do, though, I do want to say hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. If you were to hear, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, let's start off with looking at this video over from MMA Orbit. Ian Machado Garry says he accepted a fight with Colby Covington a month ago, and nothing has come back from the Covington side as of yet. Let's watch this video together.
What's up, everyone? So I'm coming on to let everybody know, keep everybody in the loop and keep everyone updated because it matters. A month ago, I was offered a fight with Colby Covington. It took me all of 20 seconds to respond to the email saying, yes, I'm in. A month later, we've still got no response from Colby. He's avoiding me like the plague, and there's one reason, and one reason only this fight isn't happening, and his name's Colby Covington.
Now, my first takeaway from it, to be honest with you, and I don't know if you guys would feel the same way, but Colby, and I've been a Colby fan for a very, very long time. I've always enjoyed his trash talk. I always enjoyed like the persona that he puts on, right? And I do like his relentless wrestling pressure. Anyways, my first initial thought with this, which I couldn't believe, was I actually can't believe that Colby Covington has been frustrating the fans so much to the point where he's making Ian Garry a little bit likable. Don't get me wrong, I don't like Ian Garry. I still don't like Ian Garry at all, but the video that he made here, it's just like he is accepted the fight really quick. So far in his career, he's wanted to take on really, really tough opponents, and I don't know about you guys, but I would imagine that Ian Garry would have no problem fighting Colby Covington. It's a big name. It's a favorable matchup for him. And Ian Garry has shown that he has the grappling skills to maybe contend with a Colby Covington that's past his prime right now. I've seen a lot of comments, first of all, just saying things like Colby Covington is ducking. Of course, he's definitely ducking because Colby was like, I don't know if he said this recently, but he's been talking about fighting Wonderboy Thompson. Like, of course, that's what Colby would want. It makes sense. It's understandable from Colby's perspective to like want the easy fights, but it's so much more respectable what Ian Garry's doing. He wants to take on a guy like Colby Covington. He wants to take on the top 5 in the division. He wants to take on the champion of the division. Now, there is one thing that I will say about Colby Covington's possible approach to this, and that being if he really is fighting Dustin Poirier, then I get it. Then I'm okay with it. First of all, that's a matchup that I would like infinitely more than I would like Colby Covington versus Ian Garry. I'd rather see Colby versus Dustin, two fighters that are a little bit past their prime, two fighters that have been beefing. That would be an amazing build-up. And it's still a very respectable contender for Colby Covington to take on, that being Dustin Poirier. It would be a really, really huge fight, but I have a hard time believing that. I know that there's been some posts recently we've been seeing around like, oh my god, the UFC's trying to put together Colby Covington versus Dustin Poirier. They're going to get set to announce it. We have all of those clips from a long time ago saying something along the lines of Dustin Poirier saying that he will never fight Colby Covington in the octagon. He doesn't want Colby to have any monetary gain, but he could have been just saying that because he knew that Colby Covington would ragdoll him. Now that Colby Covington is so clearly past his prime and inactive, a shell of the fighter that he typically once was, maybe Dustin Poirier sees an opportunity for him to beat up Colby Covington, have his old fairy tale moment. Maybe he knows something we don't. Because to be honest with you, I always believed that Dustin Poirier didn't want to fight Colby Covington. He was making it out to seem that Colby Covington is such a bad guy, such a bad person, and that's why he would never fight him. But Dustin Poirier has had a lot of animosity between a lot of guys, and that's what I always thought, that he was actually just ducking Colby Covington. But now, like I said, Colby isn't the same fighter, so I can see Dustin Poirier actually wanting to get that bout. If that's the route that Colby Covington is going, then I'll be like, you know what? Okay, the Ian Garry fight, whatever. You're still taking on a really respectable opponent, that being Dustin Poirier. And of course, Dustin Poirier is past his prime as well. But still, look at the fight that Dustin just had with Islam Makhachev. There's no shame in Colby Covington taking that fight if that's the route he's going to go. If we don't hear from Colby, if Colby doesn't fight for another year, if Colby is just trash talking from the side and making more videos about Ian Garry, then that's a bad look for Colby Covington. And Colby Covington, if he wants to stay in the rankings, if he wants to trash talk as much as he is doing, and this is coming from a fan of Colby Covington's, it's just been very frustrating to be a fan of Colby Covington. I understand why the fans are laughing at him. I understand why the fans are making fun of him constantly every single time that he ends up trash talking right now. It's because he's all bark and no bite. That's what he used to be, talking and talking and talking and talking and then be able to back it up. But he doesn't do that anymore. Ian Garry is getting a one-up on him, and I totally believe Ian Garry when he says that he signed him like without hesitation to fight Colby Covington, And now we're sitting here a month later with still no word from Colby. I don't believe this guy's injured. I believe that he wants to take his career path somewhere else because we've been seeing him on podcasts and a bunch of things like that. Again, nothing wrong with that, but he's been doing a lot of talking from the side. That's where it's a little bit giving me conflicting feelings about it. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, Colby Covington can do what he wants, but he is not backing up what he's saying online. I hope this fight happens. I hope the Dustin fight happens more, but I honestly don't think that either fight is going to take place. I don't think that Colby Covington wants that. I think Colby Covington would want to take on like a Neil Magny if he loses his next fight to Carlos Prates. So guys, let me know what you thought about all of this down below. Thank you for being here and watching. If you want to keep watching the channel, YouTube thinks you'll like this video the best. Thank you so much for being here. Take care.